Okay, Wednesday, 27th of August, 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Knowledge to exposure ratio. Now, one interesting thing I've discussed about in the videos, or loads of places, is that your knowledge should always be greater than your investment, the allocation in something. Essentially, your competence has to always increase. That's the Peter principle right there. So, whatever we are moving into, decisions, financial decisions, for example, you need to be more aware, have more knowledge than the amount of money you put in something. You have £1 million in something, you need £1,001,000, for example, of worth of knowledge akin to that. But there's always an interesting mismatch. Like, how do you quantify knowledge? How do you articulate, well, how do you put a value on knowledge? How do you do that? So, one interesting thing I kind of came to was essentially like a 1% rule of £100 or something. 1%, £1. So then you could say, right, can you talk about this thing for 1 minute? Roughly speaking, whatever 1% of the investment is, convert that into seconds or minutes, depending on whichever is bigger or large, depending on the number of amount invested, and say, could you talk about it for that amount of time? So £100, 1 minute, 60 seconds. Could you talk about the investment in some way, articulate it, explain it, defend it for 1 minute, for 60 seconds? Could you? In a sense of, could you argue against yourself better than your competition? Could you give a talk about it? In this case, 1 minute, but of course, as a benchmark, 20 minutes. Could you defend it in a bar fight? Could you explain it to a 10-year-old, for example? That's interesting. I think that's a Feynman technique. I think it is where you keep learning something until you can explain it effectively to someone. Now, for example, in my work, I have explained certain aspects many times. I can explain it like that to certain clients. And that took years of practice, refining, and trial and error to get it down to that simple explanation, that simple art. Powerful stuff. And then you could say, well, knowledge. Don't get caught up on this thing about reading. Yes, reading books is important, yes. Not to underestimate it. But it's what matters is the knowledge enters here. You learn it and you act on it. Podcasts, videos, lectures, you name it. Conferences, videos like this, playlists, you name it, audiobooks. It hasn't got to be dogmatically books. The information has got to be valid, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have to be books or nothing. As many sources as possible. I did a video about this as well, actually, just Dragnet, taking countless data. I'm looking into how I could apply Schopenhauer, Machiavellian, and Sun Tzu with regards to my knowledge and their works in very unique ways, studying it. Because you're one book, one podcast, one playlist, one video, one tweet, one reel, one story away from learning a new idea that can change your strategy. I learned something new recently. I saw something and it got me thinking, and that opened the door, which I didn't know was even there, to learn and understand more, which took my strategy to the next level. Powerful stuff. Because I was open and humble to learn, because I was taking ideas from many sources and analysing it in detail to increase my knowledge. As my knowledge increases, I think, you know what, we need a position in this. My allocation and knowledge, we need to get involved in this. Oh, but then remember, as you apply more, you need to increase that knowledge furthermore as well. It's a beautiful it's a beautiful feedback loop. The more you invest, the more you need to learn. Because this is, you could say hesitation, not necessarily, but this is a mismatch. You know more than you're applying, fair enough. This is risky. You're applying more than you're allocating more than you know, than you understand. That's dangerous, very dangerous. It's all relative. It's very dangerous. Because one interesting heuristic, one rule of thumb, someone explained to me about a year or something ago is when you don't know why the market is doing what it does, you need to learn, you need to study. and also at the same time, always be learning. Study everything. I'm currently looking into options and how the mechanics behind that, and implied volatility, and in the market, out the market, in the money, out the money, and at the money, movements and strike prices and beyond, implied volatility and the Greeks and beyond, things like that, the thetas and the gamma squeezes, stuff like that, to understand it more. The fundamentals, so as to be able to allocate more. Very important, very important. And then you can go deeper to say, well, by understanding all these things, you understand more of reality, the world, how things actually work. That's powerful. That's powerful. Because when it comes to putting money on the line, then all the hype and hyperbole and opinion polls go out the window. This is serious stuff. Until then, it's all practice and demo, and it's all fantasy and ooh la la, whatever else. When you start dealing with money and handling it and making more of it, defending it, now that's a serious league, that is. And that, your margin of error collapses. Here, oh la di da, fantasy world, or all make believe, yippee But when you start moving from the world of, not theory, but the world of, I don't know, when you start going more, okay, you could say financializing life in a loose way. When as the stakes get higher in business and in life, your margin of error decreases exponentially, and your knowledge has to increase exponentially as well. You're at a higher league, higher stakes. Dangerous to both sides. Power to enable things is meritocracy, really. That same level of freedom allows you to flourish, and the same level of freedom allows you to languish. Powerful stuff. Very important. So, as a rule of thumb, 1%. 1% of the position, can you talk about it for that amount of time, seconds or minutes? And of course, the more the merrier. Great. And then keep learning. Learn. Perpetually, forever. Always be learning. Very important. The majority of market participants suffer from asymmetrical exposure. Too much money in, too little brains invested. This leads to panic selling, poor timing, regret, and identity collapse. Forcing yourself to be more epistemically invested than financially, you create internal anti-fragility, sovereign conviction, and persuasive power. That makes you dangerous in the best way possible. Essentially, you know what you're doing. Your competence is increasing, and that's powerful. That's very good. We want that in life, not just in the financial markets, but in all aspects, in aspects that you can't even imagine. Recently, I stumbled upon zoology, and I'm thinking there are ways that zoology, the concepts of it, like anthropology, can be applied to society. That's very powerful. Who knows what that trail of thought will lead me down in 12, 24 months, and how much sharper my thinking will be in a sense of people, humans, society, and markets, human, society, and manias and greed and fear, essentially, understanding it better, keeping cooler, calm, and conviction, no matter what. That's powerful, very, very powerful. Yes. Essentially, increase your knowledge. Your knowledge has to be greater than your exposure. Powerful stuff. If the market is doing things and you don't know why, you're over allocated. Fundamentally, at a net level, increase your knowledge. Understand why. That gives you the conviction, the sovereignty. Very powerful. Very, very powerful. Yeah. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.